Hey there, and welcome to this installment of coverage from The Big One, which is a charity tournament put on by The Final Swindle, care of Karen and Zeramis. So without further ado, you should see on your screen the matchup for this particular game. And if you want further details, they'll be in the video description below. Let's hop into it.
So we've got the Cincinnatus Rex Ranopity Valley Firefighter piloted by LordOfWinter here. As we saw earlier, Cincinnatus Rex deck, no Exhume, but there is a Not Finished With You. If he does get desperate, and E on the fringes, plenty of Star Alliance. And then Goreleg piloted by KMarch, Mass Mutation deck here with Obsidian Forge, Gateway to Dis, couple of other fun things here. I'm looking for any artifact control. We'll see what happens. There is an Infernus, in case he can get any of that into the discard.
Well, we do also see the Fangs, which
Yes.
again is not useful against Golden Spiral, but can potentially be a nice stop against the Cincinnatus Rex as well. In addition, we have the double Worthy-Eyed, so something's probably gonna get overkilled. That's actually one of my favorite ways to kill something in this game is, like kill a toad in the center with 23 overkill or 22 overkill. It's amazing. Yes. That is definitely a nice follow-up turn from LordOfWinter here. We see the Golden Spiral come down first turn, which, obviously a huge threat, very terrifying. Followed up with a nice board of 4 Star Alliance creatures, including that Officer Gray, which is also pretty nice, but obviously dealt with by KMarch.
Yes, an Axiom dropped the Demosaurus through the damage onto Frayne, so that they could ward and keep the ward on Demosaurus, then drop the Thero. So great sequencing from KMarch there. Definitely takes some thinking to make sure you play it right. So, and 3 fates leave just a lonely Demosaurus out on the board. Also, Soul Fiddle deck versus Soul Fiddle deck. Man, it's really a battle of the bands.
This is what you get with the 80 SAS cap. You get more Soul Fiddles than if we had no SAS cap on this.
This is true, and it's really worth it, I have to say. Really worth it. Stunt Bunny Twitch saying, Cincy Rex, the one Saurian card that eludes me every time I open a Worlds Collide deck. Oh, I'm sorry about that. It'll happen eventually. I opened my first Val Jericho deck earlier this week, picking up some decks to support my FLGS. At this point, picking up those decks is more to support my FLGS than to try to expand my collection.
Yep. I'm in the same boat.
Yeah. 3 fates, Scientist Bane not doing anything. Got a Malison and a Dexys, so KMarch needing to remember what side to put his creatures on here. Gorvenal and Smite coming out, dumping some damage onto the creatures. Gorvenal capturing an Amber. So lots of back and forth creature destruction, soul fiddling.
Yeah, it's one of the beauties of KeyForge really is just kind of this, I feel like it's more so the case as we've moved into Worlds Collide and Mass Mutation, maybe to some degree in AOA, but when AOA had just come out, it wasn't really the same. But what I'm trying to say is the kind of like the dance, if you will, of board control, board presence. And we're seeing that a little bit here. Obviously when LordOfWinter put out that huge board of, not huge, that good sized board of Star Alliance, which provided, represented a big threat in terms of Ember generation efficiency with the Information Officer Gray. KMarch fortunately had the answer for it, but it's kind of one of the beauties of KeyForge where there's this back and forth, kind of trying to balance in some ways your ability to generate Ember, as well as disrupt your opponent's ability to generate Ember or do something else. Look at this, the Soul Fiddle, Fiddle getting some use against the Philosophosaurus.
And Raging Philosophosaurus, and LordOfWinter having a good push on that previous Saurian turn, with Paraguardian getting used via Golden Spiral, Calligraphy and Ideal onto it to be able to spend that Amber, warding Philosophosaurus. But yes, Soul Fiddle, yes, even if a card could be quote-unquote considered bad, Soul Fiddle, not something that excites me when I see it in a deck. The beauty of KeyForge is that, look at your board state, hey, Soul Fiddle, actually helping out right now.
It's doing
Soul
some
Fiddle's
work.
actually helping out right now, and
It's
I love
doing
that.
some work. One of my favorite uses for Soul Fiddle is EE on the fringes, which is to say, to discard. Whoa.
Oh no!
Oh.
Encounter suit quadricorder light of the Archons. We have
Oh.
gone full Voltron. We have gone full Voltron. How do you ban somebody from Twitch chat? Sorry, that was a wild wormhole joke.
Oh,
What's up,
I got it. I was like, what do I need to do? Usually this channel is pretty clean. Oh my gosh.
But full Voltron on the Paraguardian. Well, I guess Voltron summoned whatever, Voltron's nemesis is, and Wormhole started watching.
That's brutal. Just absolutely brutal.
Encounter suit. That is rough.
That's
with the lull.
Yeah, I think that's the appropriate response. Like, well, we tried. We gave it a go. Give it the old college try.
That encounter suit really is what makes it there.
Yeah, that's because that, like, the beware the eyes, the fangs that's not doing much there.
Nope. You have to. You have to get it with a non-action card way to sneak in there, which is just really tough to do. Really tough to do.
Oh, Grim Reminder
for Saurian. Pulling 3 creatures, Gateway, taking out everything except Paraguardian and Dilophosaurus, of course. Back to Lord of Winter. So KMarch not far behind on Amber and Keys. He's got some change he's going to need to shake off. Lord of Winter with, however, the Voltron, Paraguardian, and Golden Spiral currently going into a turn with these creatures enraged. However, because there are no enemy creatures on the other side of the board, Lord of Winter is going to be able to reap to his heart's content there. If he happens to have Cincy in hand. Then... Almost
to his heart's content, because one really nice pseudo counter is already out on the board in that Orb of Invidious.
Great shout.
Making the well, I mean, no creatures on the board as well, so I suppose that's a good way to play around Cincinnatus Rex. You literally can't even play Cincinnatus Rex, right? Otherwise it dies, because no opposing creatures are on the board. So fortunately for KMarch, the threat of Cincinnatus Rex is not very good right now, or is a little bit abated. But you know what is threatening?
However,
4 soaring creatures.
But how does he win from there? Like, yes, Cincinnatus Rex can't come out. However, 0 creatures to 4 dinos, 3 of them warded, 1 of them is a Voltron. Still not a great situation.
Indeed. Yeah, it's kind of the, you can really, we can focus, and of course I tend to focus on something flashy like the Cincinnatus Rex, but staring down a board of 4 soaring creatures, that's a little bit troubling. That's a little bit troubling no matter who you are. That's kind of the Worlds Collide Saurian problem.
Ooh,
that's nice.
So Daemosaurus getting around that ward, and then Dreadbone Decimus assassinating that Dilophosaurus. Love it.
Brutal.
Love to see it.
KeyForge Alchemist, thank you for the $20 donation to the cause, to MSF, aka Doctors Without Borders, as well as Julie July. I'm not sure which one it is, but thank you for the $20 donation. May the keys be in your favor.
Yes,
they're always in our favor because we get to watch some great games, so that's the best.
Karen saying never heard the term Voltron. They're definitely not my original creation there. That's what I've heard people call it when you just start to stack up a bunch of upgrades, especially Light of the Archons, right? It's just this absolute beast, this robot of many parts, right? That is just going to dominate the board, as Paraguardian is currently doing.
Oh, there's one you don't see a whole lot. Diplomacy Alpha. Until the start of your next turn, each creature gains before fight. All right, so locking down some of the fighting. Oh, that's fun. Fights with the Paraguardian. Yeah. Fights with the Paraguardian because why not? Calpiggian ideal, and then probably the Paraguardian's never going to die. So
just dumping amber, generating spendable amber on what is probably an unkillable creature, especially with now only 9 creature power on the board for KMarch. So straight into Saurian Thero Centurion coming out to capture amber.
Ooh, that's nice. The Faust as well.
Yeah. Oh, the Faust. Yes. Lord of Winter has 9 spendable amber, so Faust. So he's actually keeping Lord of Winter from spending a key at all.
So the interesting, another option could have been, I guess, instead of exalting with Faust, just
Letting him forge
accepting,
at 9.
letting the forge happen at 9.
Now, of course, he does have, let's see.
There you go.
Yeah. Okay, so key cost down to 9, but now Lord of Winter with 11 spendable amber. That with that Demosaurus stealing and then giving Lord of Winter a captured amber back, and then removing a key cost, of course.
So we were just a little ahead of the gameplay. KMarch had something going on. That's great.
Still had plenty of things to do here. Yeah, and KMarch just at 2 amber overall, 7 key cost due to the quadricorder over there. But Lord of Winter wants to just ride this out, I think. Just keep calling Saurian until they either win or KMarch can answer that. So now over to Lord of Winter. Spent all the amber off of Paraguardian, forged for 8, I believe. Yes, forged for 8. Now just a few amber off of that final key here. Looking like Lord of Winter can close it out. But we'll see what answers KMarch might hold.
The KMarch says that para is just nuts. Indeed.
And it is. 10 power, I think 5 armor all told. Just absolutely bonkers.
I like how this is like a little bit unconventional, but like with a Voltron situation like this, a creature that effectively becomes unkillable. It's just sort of interesting because now you have effectively 3 out of your 12 Starlance cards that don't need to cycle because they're just going to stay on the board. So in some ways, it like provides a little bit more efficiency to the deck when you move back around. Although it doesn't look like Lord of Winter has made it back through their deck. But of course, that is the conclusion.
That is the game.
the likely inevitable conclusion when that Paraguardian hit the board with all those upgrades. But
once the Light of the Archons and Encounter Suit dropped, then I mean you can keep from playing any creatures to resist the Cincy, but that Paraguardian was also a win condition on top of the highly visible one, of course.
Indeed. Maybe a little bit less flashy, but it's still pretty flashy. That's pretty good.
Yes.